Hello, hello, my beautiful, beloved sacred masculines, and anybody else who finds their way to this channel. Thank you so much for joining me. This is day 4 of my ayahuasca retreat at the Arkana Spiritual Center down here in Sacred Valley, Peru. And last night, it's kind of hard to believe it, but it was the second ayahuasca ceremony. In case you haven't been following along, I've been posting about my experience every day, and because I just really wanted to kind of document my journey and share about this experience in case you're interested in it. I know it's really helpful for people to hear firsthand. I think there's a lot of information out there, but and again, this is only my experience. Everyone's going to have a very different experience. I invite you to go and watch the other videos in this series to learn more about the whole premise and my intentions and what the whole experience has been like. My throat. This is ayahuasca is called the vine of death, and it really is a purging plant medicine, and it really clears things out, and that's like clearing from the whole body. It's body, mind, and spirit clearing, and clearing through, it feels like lifetimes, timelines, realms, and dimensions, clearing through so much. So my throat's all like, I'm still like clearing stuff out of my throat, and like sinuses get all kind of crazy, and so excuse me for that. But anyways, yeah, ceremony 2. So we arrive on Sunday, and earlier in the day, and then kind of connect with everybody, get a little bit of the lay of the land, and settle in and enjoy the amazing food that they have here. It is just exquisite. It's so good, and the presentation is just so gorgeous. Oddly enough, I haven't taken any pictures of it because I often don't have my phone with me, but I should do that to share with you because it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And again, I mentioned this yesterday, I think, but so much of the food is grown here on the property, fresh vegetables and leafy greens, and just yum, yum, yum. And they're grinding salt, and the salt that is from this area. I didn't post a picture of that. Well, yeah, no, I posted it under shorts. So if you want to go check that out, the salt mines, the salt flats here, just amazing salt. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so Sunday was settling in and getting to know people, and Monday was the first ceremony that takes place in the evening, and then you do the second ceremony the next day. And the first one, everybody's like super nervous, right? Because we don't know what we're getting into. For those of us that are new to this, and many people here, there's 10 of us total, and many of us were first timers. A couple of repeat people that come back, have come back a number of times. But a lot of us were new, so there's a lot of nervousness in the room. We didn't know what we were getting into and what we were going to experience, and it's definitely, fearful / excited. So last night, the second ceremony that took place on Tuesday, the energy in the room was very different. We weren't all so nervous, and we'd already had our first experience. So we were just like, okay, now where are we going? Where is she, Mother Ayahuasca, where is she going to take us and lead us into? And we were aware that our experience might be very different than the day before. So we're just much more open and like, entering in with, for me, I was just like entering in with, I was saying perfect love and perfect trust, to just really trust the process, trust all the maestros and the maestra and all the facilitators and the space and the plant, everything, trusting myself to open to the experience. So yeah, there was just a lot more trust in the experience last night. So it took a little while for it to come on after I drank. They upped my dose a little bit from the first night. The first night was extremely powerful, and but I felt like I could go a little deeper, So it went up. I was still the lowest dose in the whole room, which is kind of crazy to me because I feel like I had some of the most powerful experiences. Although last night everyone was definitely much deeper into it, and most people I think had increased their dose. Like the first day was getting to learn it a little bit more and introducing to the medicine. and seeing how that, they start you at one place with the opportunity to go back for more if you're, not have feeling the effects. And a number of people did go back for more. The first night there was an opportunity to go back for a third round. Last night there was just an opportunity to go back for a second round, and people were definitely partaking in that, but it seemed like the dosage got a little more correct the second time. So but again, I was definitely at one of the lower doses and couldn't even imagine any more for myself. I was at 25, and I think it's in milligrams. I don't know, but it's a little liquid, and the taste is not the most amazing taste, but it's not horrible either. So it's doable. You're not supposed to eat or drink for a number of hours prior, so as to help with the purging experience. If you have food and water in your tummy, you're more likely to purge and vomit. So definitely heed that warning there and heed that advice. So there was a couple of times in the night where I thought I was going to throw up, but luckily didn't go there. But it was definitely happening around me. This is a very purging vine. It's a death to all of the old energies and frequencies and belief systems and traumas and experiences that are not serving us in our highest good and moving forward in our life. So it's clearing at a very deep level, and I was experiencing that big time last night. Huge purging, and extremely psychedelic, extremely expansive, and I just melted. My mind kind of melted into the cosmic mind, and which I just had to keep trusting and letting go. But I felt like everything was just for a real cleansing purpose. So I just kept having to hold on. It got extremely intense, but I knew it was all for good reasoning. And I just kept having to trust the process, and release and let go as much as possible. For me, it went in a number of different directions. I really tapped into the divine feminine, the goddess energy, and got a lot more clarity on that. And one of the intentions I went in with is, please show me the truth of who I am. And what it showed me, what I was shown, is that I am the goddess. I am an emanation of the goddess, of the divine feminine here on earth in this physical form on this planet. And so many of us have lost touch with our God and goddess selves, with our divinity. And it really showed me that, and showed me the truth of my power, and how I can let go of so many of the things that are keeping me from just rocking that out and being in my power and in my essence and in the truth of my energy, not somebody else's energy, not what I've been told, not what I think it's supposed to look like, but really allowing my energy, my experience, my preferences, what turns me on, what I'm into. And it really showed up for me in the form of the dark goddess, which is definitely what I'm more aligned with, right? That's just, the underworld. And I really relate to that Persephone and Pluto archetype. Pluto is so prevalent in my chart, and is just, it's all death, rebirth, transformation, but it's going into the depths of our psyche and our experience and our pain and our trauma to really find the nuggets and transmute and transform that pain into our beauty. What makes us who we are, and helping us to learn ourselves and to know our truth and to connect with the divine. So I love those realms. This is why I love sexuality so much, because it's been put into the shadows, right? And there's so much that we're dealing with around sexuality. It shouldn't be in the shadows, but that's where it is, and that's where I love to play. I love to play in that energy. And I really connect to Kali, the total dark goddess, and her just fierceness, and but it's loving fierceness. She's really helping us to break through and get through our own shit. It's not always a gentle process, but it's all for love, and it's beautiful. And those are the energies. Lilith, really really relate to her and Lady Isis, all of the, and Mother Earth. She is a real dark goddess. She's all the things, but she's fierce and ferocious and destructive, and when she needs to be, but she's beautiful and loving and nurturing as well. So it's all the parts of the feminine. But I was really tapping into, there's so much of myself that is yeah, more in the dark realms. Like, here they're playing like devotional music, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, where's my ministry or my industrial music? I just like the kind of harder, darker aspects of life. And so my visions are filled with lots of demons in my adventures, in my journeys with the psychedelics. But I was just like, that's, I don't know, making friends with all of that and that dark side of ourselves, and integrating and embracing it instead of shunning it and pushing it into the shadows. We are shadow and light, and we've got to embrace all parts of ourselves. So I was really shown like that's just kind of a realm that I'm comfortable in, and like all of my addiction and just going down into the depths of the human experience, being in jail and being on the streets. I just kind of wanted to explore all of that, and there was something in me that was really curious about learning about that side of life. And luckily I didn't get trapped in that, and that hasn't been my experience for decades now. But there was a draw for me. There's always been this draw to the dark side, and real curious about that. And but in the beginning, it was destructive for me, but now it's not. Now I can embrace that part of myself, and just honor it and cherish it. And I was shown this last night, just to let go into that more and more and more, and just like but not to put it into the shadows, not judge it, just to open to this beautiful goddess energy that is me, that just really shows up as me, and how this expresses in me. And that's what I'm so passionate about, is supporting all of us to open into our own God and goddess energies. Who are we? Who are you as a God? Who are you in your divine essence and form? Humanity's really just, been stripped of its power, and lost touch with the truth of who they are, and the powerful, powerful beings. So who are you when you really tap into the truth of your energy and your divinity? And I was really shown this last night, and it was beautiful. And I was shown a lot of pain too, moving through my own pain. And then I started tapping into the inherited trauma and pain of our families and our ancestors, and intergenerational trauma, all the things we've taken on from the systems, from our families, but all the pain that's passed through just being in this world. It's the Kali Yuga. It is the dark cycle of humanity right now, and we go in cycles. We go in, it's like 4 cycles, and then we return back. It's an up and a down, and it's an ongoing, it's an everlasting experience. So that's what we've been in, and now we're moving out of it. We're moving into the age of Aquarius. We're moving out of a lot of things. There's a lot of shifting happening right now, and we're evolving rapidly. And for those of us who are allowing it and embracing it, and really stepping into it. So for me, that involves a lot of healing for my family, and helping to clear and release that the pain that I know is a part of their experience, and has been a part of grandparents' experience and their parents' experience, and just going back down the lines. And I have 2 families: the family that adopted me, and my biological family. So I had a lot of ancestral healing that I was connecting with last night, and really supporting, going through each member of my family, and really offering them a lot of healing, and looking at their lives, and just really appreciating them, and feeling a lot of love and gratitude for them. Part of my being adopted, I haven't felt as connected to my family, and I just realized last night, I was shown, like, they are your family. They are your family, and you can allow that and let go into that, and open to that love, and just appreciate all of the journeys that we're all going through, and that we're all doing the best that we can. And so that was it was painful and beautiful and loving, and healing and cleansing and purging. So I was really trying to allow myself to be a filter for that energy to move through, and offering healing on behalf of all of my family members, and all the people in my life. I connected with the man I was married to for short period of time, and who is such a soulmate that we just trigger each other so much that it's just not good for us to be together. But I love him. I love him so much. And, I just have to appreciate what it was and what I shared with him. And so I just really got to connect with that energy and that frequency. And again, appreciating the journey that he is on, appreciating the journey that I'm on, and how it's, and what we shared together, and just appreciation and gratitude and letting go of that to the best of my ability. What else was coming up? There was, I was journaling on the first day, but I didn't journal. I woke up still, oh my gosh, I was just still quite altered. I needed help getting back to my room last night. It's some powerful stuff. The ceremony is 8 till I got back to my room around 1, and then was up for a few hours still. I just was still so like, what? And, I was kind of spinning through some things and continuing on with some life reflection. And I know there was more, but just overall, very powerful cleansing experience, very healing. I understand why so many people are drawn to this. It's a very important medicine for this time where we're at, as we are shifting and moving into a new way of being. This medicine has shown up and is getting more prevalent and widely used because it's so important to help clear out so much of those old systems. The religious dogmatic stuff that we've grown up with, I really moved through a lot of that around sexuality and around women's bodies, and men as well. There's so much that's been distorted around our sexuality, and because of religious dogmatic systems that we've grown up in. And so really, I feel like this medicine is purging those types of things, those old, heavy, dense energies, purging from our body, mind, and spirit, opening us up to a new way of living and experiencing our lives and each other and Mother Earth. And, so much about the capitalistic, patriarchal way that we've grown up in as well, which this is nothing against the masculine, but we know it's gotten very imbalanced, right? And it's just kind of gone into a heavier, dense energy that is not supportive. It's very, very imbalanced. So, and that's affected all of us, disconnecting from our own feminine energies and qualities, and deeply affected men, but so many of us. So really clearing those energies out. And I think it's a very important process if you're drawn to it, if you're drawn to this level of healing and cleansing and purging and seeing yourself. And, I got into also like I was shown like, take better care of your body, it's your temple, and things like that. They're just kind of like, yeah, Dad, I know, but needed to kind of hear it at this level. So just shown so many things, so many things. It was very, it was intense and dark and deep, and a lot of it was real ugly, but a lot of it was really loving and powerful too. So and I'm just so grateful and appreciative. And so that was that experience. I had lunch, so I feel a lot better, but I didn't even know if I was going to get this video made today, because earlier I was just like, wow, draining, because it is like scraping us raw, just like, wow. And watching all the other people go through their experience, just like moving through some heavy emotional trauma and turmoil, and really coming to grips with some of their own issues in their lives. And it's really bringing up to the surface emotions that people haven't been able to experience. I experienced a lot of grief around the loss of this past relationship. And I don't think I'd been able to tap into that grief in that kind of way previously. So this really helped me to cleanse some of that out and release some of that and touch on that. So that was very helpful. Grief, again, around the mothers, the mother wound was still like clearing some of that out. So, but yeah, last night was way more intense for everybody. I know the dosages got upped, but I think also because we were in a different mindset, different, just more accepting and trusting of the process now, not so much fear or nervousness, I guess. everyone went way deeper into their process last night. And yeah, I think it's very, I can see why it's really important to do this a number of times. Some people are here for a couple of weeks, some people come here for 3 weeks and do, you do 3 ceremonies per week. And then there's other plant medicine as well. That's a lot of cleansing and purging, right? I mean, I can see myself coming back here next year for 2 weeks to just really like continue the process. But I feel like it's given me a really good foundation. But back to what I was saying, I think one dose, one experience, one day, I don't feel would allow you to go to the depths that are possible with this medicine. So a retreat situation like this, I think and having the container and the space is extremely important, especially with facilitators that know. And again, I'm going to touch on the Icaros, the song, the chanting that the maestros and the maestra are doing, that are, I feel the plant singing through them and just moving through them. It's extremely powerful, and I don't imagine you would get that in America. And I trusted, it came through. I was just like, people really have to have this experience, really need to be in this with these people that have dedicated their lives to this medicine and have gone through all of the training and know all the songs of the plants, and because it's such an important piece. But then I was also shown, it's like, yes, that's very true, but this medicine is making its way to other countries and to America, where maybe the chanting and such isn't going to be there, because it is needed. And it is a very powerful cleansing, and it's needed on the planet right now. So even if you can't get down, and not everyone can get here, right? I mean, shoot, I'm in Peru for a week. It's not possible for everybody to do that. So if you can't, and this speaks to you, find a reputable place in America and do your research, because it's available there now. But if you can get down here and get to a place where you have these shamans, these maestras singing, and can be in this environment, highly recommended that you do, if that speaks to you. Very, very much worth it. I look forward to seeing what transpires after this process, and how embodied some of this wisdom is for me, and what the actual cleansing and clearing looks like in my everyday, lived experience. So I'll definitely be keeping you updated on that as we go along. Today's a very calm day, although a lot of the group went to Machu Picchu this morning, which is another, I didn't mention this yesterday, but part of the other reason to choose this place is the option to go to Machu Picchu. So very exciting, but I just can't imagine trying to go on a trip the day after such a powerful ceremony and such huge purging. But they did. So it's just me and a couple of other people here today in the center, just chilling out. I'm going to have a massage here in about an hour, and I'm just perfect timing for that, right? How lovely. They have a masseuse on site, so gorgeous. Another great reason to come here. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So today's a pretty chill day. Tonight there will be a bonfire and a cacao ceremony. Yum. Really looking forward to that. And then tomorrow we are diving right in. There's the toad experience, which is DMT, and I don't even really know what to think about that, but I've heard amazing things about that. So I don't even know how to describe that right now, because I just know it speaks to me, and I've been curious about it for a while. So more continuing on with the cleansing and clearing. And so stay tuned for more on that and that experience. It sounds like it's pretty intense and powerful. And then another ceremony, another ayahuasca ceremony tomorrow evening. Like, oh my gosh. So that's intense. And then the following day will be San Pedro, which is the masculine plant energy. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So the next few days are going to be pretty cleansing and clearing and purging, and more healing process, more releasing, and more opening and expansion. That's a lot. I really had a lot of mind expansion yesterday, and really again tapping into that cosmic mind and the sacred feminine, the divine feminine in such a bigger way in that Christ consciousness, just like whoa. So um yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, it's a powerful process. It's very, very deep. If you're into intense experiences, this is it. But if you're ready for this level of healing and purging and cleansing and a rebirth, maybe not even healing, but just awakening and expansion and showing you more of yourself and helping you to release that which is not serving you and that which you don't want to take forward. This is a beautiful time for that. There's just so much cleansing on the planet right now, and so much light coming in and supporting us in our evolution and helping us to let go of so much. There's so much. So yeah, it's rich and deep and transformative and painful and clarifying and beautiful and loving and nourishing. And I mean, ultimately it's all very loving, and that's what it feels like. It's just like, here's what you need to see, here's what you need to move through, here's what's holding you back from being in your power, from shining your light bright, from being really strong in yourself, from living the life you're capable of, from having those connections that you truly long for opening into your sexuality in a new way. I had a lot around that coming through in my experience last night, a lot around sexuality and a lot around fear of the masculine. I'm so drawn to the masculine and I love the masculine, but there's a deep fear for the feminine of the masculine due to so much of the patriarchal stuff that's gone on, and so much abuse and trauma to women and men too, that they're just not talking about as much. But there's been a lot of crazy sexual abuse towards men that just it's starting to come to light more and more, and people are starting to get more comfortable talking about it. But because our sexuality has been so repressed and so distorted and so shunned and shamed, and especially in the religious systems and so much around that, so it's just come out sideways. So we're all doing some deep healing around this, and I really was releasing a lot of that just inherited pain and trauma around the masculine, which is not at all what I want to carry forward. I so long to be in union with the masculine, in healthy union with the sacred masculine. So anything that I can clear to help support opening that up even more and more and more, and opening up into my sexual energy and expression even more and more and more is just so exciting. And it feels really empowering and really so lovely and supportive right now. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. I'm thrilled to share about it. Again, this is my experience. Everybody's having very different experiences and getting exactly what they need, and it's speaking to them very personally, very personally. So know that you will have your own experience. And yeah, so anyway, again, thanks for being here. I'm just feeling really open-hearted right now, and just so loving to share this process with you, and loving this journey that we are all on together. And be sure to check out the rest of my YouTube video and the rest of this series for more about this experience and so much more to support you on your sacred sexuality path. Check out my website for all of my offerings, sessions, sacred sexuality sessions, spiritual guidance sessions, energy and sound healing sessions. I offer a beautiful 12-week program to really support a deep dive and a deep transformative experience, really helping you to shed, release, clear all that's not serving you, right? Getting into those unhealthy belief systems we've inherited, and getting into unhealthy relationship patterns, and just recognizing and bringing that all to the consciousness so that we can move through it, and then deciding like, okay, now who do I want to be? How do I want to align? And no, most of us didn't consciously choose how we wanted to go, what our values were, how we wanted to align our life early on. And then after the fact, when we're like, hey, I think something's a little off here, now we need support in like okay, let's let go of a lot of that stuff that isn't serving us, and how do we step strong into what does align for us and what does support us and what our truth actually is. So really helping you to get clarity on that, and your values and how you want to move forward in life. So a very powerful program. The next cohort is starting in January, and we have our Tantra and Transformation pilgrimage to India coming up in November. And this is just going to be wildly powerful and transformative, and connecting with the gorgeous God and Goddess frequencies that are so prevalent over there in that beautiful spiritual energy. There's just something really transformative, really expansive, really powerful about the energy over there and the temples. And it's going to be just a wildly transformative experience, and very sensual. And we're going to dive into sacred sexuality and explore ritual and our sensuality, and really get into opening that up for ourselves so that we can have that gorgeous and healthy harmony and balance and union of our sacred feminine, sacred masculine within, so then we can have it without in our outer relationships and expressions and experiences and connections. So really opening to our passion, really opening to our vitality, to healthy life force energy, to our sacred feminine, sacred masculine energies. So if you're interested in checking that out, please see the link below, see all links below, get on my mailing list for so much more information. There's so much going on in the description below. So check that out. Check out all the resources to support you on my website. There's so much. And thank you again for being here, and wishing you much love on your journey into wholeness, into love, into liberation and freedom from all that's been keeping us from rocking out our power. So thank you all. I love you so much. Bye.